We're gonna go over a technical tip, and we are gonna cover what's called reverse head and arm. And actually, reverse head and arm, just an FYI, I'm holding Alex over here. Here, man, come over here. Let me give you a couple of other little details. If I start with regular head and arm, over here, Kezigatami over here, Han Kezigatami. If I'm holding Alex over here, and I realize, like, if Alex is shrimping out and he's pushing into me, and say this arm, freeze right there, Alex, say like he pushes and this arm gets over here, I'm then in a 2-on-1, and Alex is gonna feel lots of pressure. I then can go back and take grips. I can go to Makuri Kezigatami, which is pillow hold. But just a couple little things, you'll see it's a very versatile hold. But if Alex is starting to move more, I can go here and I can go into my reverse head and arm over here too, Ushiro Kezigatami. But the one that we're working on is more like if you were in upper four corner hold. Stay right there, Alex, and just turn this way. If you're in upper four corner hold, and say like I'm holding under his arms, or now, or north and south hold, another name for this, and say like from here, I switch, and I hold his arm this way. So now I'm in Ushiro Kezigatami, but you'll notice the arm is held a little bit differently. I'm always trying to, underhooks are king, so I'm always trying to push his arm here, pull his arm up, and I'm being nice to my training partner, but you'll see that I'm starting to smush his face over this way with the side of my body, like this, like that, right? That doesn't feel good. Now from here, generally your partner is like moving around, he's like a worm on a hook, he's moving, but he's not really going anywhere. I understand this arm could be really compromised with an arm bar, and if I go like this to Alex, if I can even grab onto his leg and just hold his leg over here, and now be nice to my training partner, I'm usually trying to smush into him, and you grip like this, it's like you're gonna have like a killer arm bar right here, that twist. So there's a little technical tip for you, and a little review of scarf hold. Thanks so much. So I'm with John, and we were working in the morning class arm bars, our Krav Maga arm bars. And we were working where this was happening. So just think about this. When you're now coming down, this hand is wrapping. I'm adjusting to side control. I'm staying back, half man. And Maren, if you can sneak in over here, like you'll see right here, no space. You want to have a little bit of a twist like that. And then I want to drive my elbow down towards his ribs. And then as I start to come up, his elbow's going to pop up, and you'll see his knuckles start to scrape across the mat. And there's that position there. Okay. I'm going to give you another one, like a bonus one, if you remember this one too. If he's pushing here and I grab the thumb pad and I twist his hand, as I come down, get my side control, and go here, you'll see there's a wrist lock that happens over there. So, it's okay if I put this on a little bit? So, he's pushing, hand comes in, grabs, see the twist? Move over here, and right here is a wrist lock that you can have, right there. Watch if I go single. See? Here. Or here. Watch how awful this is if you go like that. It's just like you press in, and you apply the pressure there. It's just a variation off of that. Okay, so one more time. If I do the original one, catch. Here, elbow down, stay half man, keeping weight on him. Take that space away. My elbow starts to move his elbow down towards his hips. And then from here, as you raise up, you'll see like the knuckles start to scrape down. And that's the arm bar that we did today. All right, awesome. Thanks, John. We're giving you a technical tip of something we've been practicing in class. It's the straight arm bar from ESMA. So as we were mentioning, when your knees are underneath here and you start to control his arms and you drive them up and you're putting a lot of pressure down on him, Once you get into this position where you're controlling, releasing the pressure a little bit, your one leg is gonna start to drive a little bit high over here, so it's going above his head, and the other one is gonna be scooping. So this one, I'm still driving down with pressure. I'm controlling his arms though when you're here, so that when you're here, you are squishing everything together over here. I have to make sure that his arms are contained. From here, if I'm able to maintain pressure, if he's starting to bridge, it's still very difficult because I'm high and I'm not here for him to make me move. If I post and I start putting pressure down on his belly, it's gonna make life really tough for him. When his head pops up and you start pushing his head back and you drive the hips forward, you're gonna have a really nice arm bar. If I take the other option, maybe I lose my balance and I start to fall. If I keep everything tight and just pass this leg, I still have the arm bar here. So you have basically two ways to finish that. And there's your technical tip for the week. Dennis and Ari, and we were going over, or we want to give you a technical tip. And it's going to be on, it's called Wakigatami, and I'm going to show you it. You're going to see from this particular position over here, it's a really tight, elbow lock. So, minusing like how we got here, if you remember in class, we were doing all kinds of moves from here. But I'm gonna have Ari turn his head that way. It takes the pressure off of him a little bit. Couple of pointers. You are making sure that you'll see my foot. I'm pressing my foot, toes are digging in because I'm gonna push that way as his arm gets pulled this way. And I'm gonna make sure I take the slack out of his arm. I'm going to drive towards his head. So you're always driving towards his head. And you notice my hip is coming, Ari's giving me a little tap there. The hip is coming off. My belly is gonna start to roll onto his elbow, and I'm gonna pull up at the same time. You'll see it's a really, really fast arm bar, elbow lock. So there is a technical tip for you guys, and hope you enjoy it. In class, we'll be practicing it a little bit more. Thanks so much. And I'm gonna show you it. You're gonna see from this particular position over here, it's a really tight, elbow lock. So, minusing like how we got here, if you remember in class, we were doing all kinds of moves from here. But I'm gonna have Ari turn his head that way. It takes the pressure off of him a little bit. Couple of pointers. You are making sure that you'll see my foot. I'm pressing my foot, toes are digging in because I'm gonna push that way as his arm gets pulled this way. And I'm gonna make sure I take the slack out of his arm. I'm going to drive towards his head. So you're always driving towards his head. And you notice my hip is coming, Ari's giving me a little tap there. The hip is coming off. My belly is gonna start to roll onto his elbow, and I'm gonna pull up at the same time. You'll see it's that way. So we understand that we're doing straight arm bars. I have to make sure that part is really tight to me. But when you're going this way for this technique, this is the arm that's through, this way. And if he's holding super strong, again, without bicep crushing him, the technique to get this unlocked, we go that way. Why? Because I need him to feel pressure on his neck like that. So you start off by first, everything here has to be super tight. When you pull him like that, you're gonna notice there's a little gap here where his knees bend. That's where your arm's gonna end up going. But before that happens, you grab his belt. Everything here stays tight. You pull this. See like how it's, I'm releasing the pressure a little bit here just to talk to you, but you're super tight on his arm here. When you grab here and you go like this, you will be able to sit up on him. This leg can really push into him, but it's the back leg when it comes through here that gives that pressure on his head. And then when you go forward, you're like, you got the arm. That's the gripping that you're looking for. Make sense? Can we try one more time? It's Dennis and Rob from Connecticut Krav Maga Mixed Martial Arts, and I wanted to put a little technical tip for you. If I have back control, if we're doing a video before. If I have back control and I want to make this a little bit easier for me, usually like if I can hold his arm like that, I can take this arm out where if I rotate over, I can trap it with my leg. This hand is holding the shoulder. I'm squeezing, but I'm gonna release the pressure a little bit so I can just not put too much pressure on Rob. That arm, it's very difficult for him to try to get this arm off when this hand is hooked in, and it makes the choke here just so much easier. So what was that little tip? Well, we know if we're in the seatbelt position, we are making sure that my chest is plastered to his back. And if I want to try to take his arms out of the picture, I know that if I drop this, it's very easy as I start to rotate to bring my leg around to trap his arm. Of course, I have to squeeze, and I realize this arm, when it hooks here, Rob, that one, if you start to pull, you'll realize it's really hard to get this off. And when you're here and you start to squeeze, it becomes like really beautiful little finishing moves. So there you go. There's your technical tip. All right, Dennis and Ari from Connecticut Krav Maga Mixed Martial Arts. And here's another groundwork piece of advice for you. If Ari grabs my leg and I'm all loosey-goosey, he might just be able to throw my leg over like that. Now, if he goes to pass my leg, but I skeletal lock and I go tight, I'll get really heavy on him, and it becomes very difficult for him to move me. So let me do this side. Sometimes I want to be loose. Go again. He's going to throw my leg over. Not always bad. That'll be another video. But if he goes and I skeletal lock, meaning that I locked everything here locked. How heavy do I feel now?
A lot heavier.
A lot heavier, right? So that helps me to retain my position instead of him throwing my legs over. So there you go. There's your little technical tip. Hey guys, it's Dennis Hill from Connecticut Krav Maga Mixed Martial Arts. I'm here with Doug, and we're gonna just go over a choke technique today. So I'll go through it, and then I'll go through it, and I'll explain it. So the choke, if we do this from our kneeling position, if I secure a cross lapel choke on my partner, and if I pull him forward and his hands drop because he's losing his balance, my arm, come over here, Kristen, so you see. My arm's gonna go here, my shoulder, my elbow's gonna touch his shoulder. I'm gonna keep pressure on him and push into him so he gets light on his front. My head's gonna go down over here, and my arm's gonna come through this way. Now, I'm going to turn to my front, but just to show you that position, I'm gonna reverse it. And then I'll do when I turn to my front. If I turn to my front, it becomes like a lot of pressure that you're putting down on your training partner. So this was the first part. Moving over here. If I move here, I get to my front and I'm in like pull down position. And right here, with my hand behind him and pulling like that, you get the choke. So I'll do it one more time. Bye, Megan! Cross lapel. Pull so they lose their balance. In, under, on my front, and there's the choke. Hope you like it. Thanks so much.